Are you ready? Got 6 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
I would like to know what agenda we are approving, because there are 2 different agendas. One was posted, I would say probably on the county website, and there was one that was emailed to us. So,
Do the one that's on the board, the one that's emailed out by Cindy. Do the agenda. That's the agenda we're approving. I'll second that motion, that one that we got emailed to us, but it's on the board.
so not the one that's on the website.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Hold on, we have a motion and a second. So,
I want to
So,
discuss
hold
it.
on. Okay, that's
Yep.
fine. We have a motion and a second. So now we can go discuss it.
Okay,
Okay.
first of all, I sent a number of items to the agenda.
Yes.
Yep.
Every one of them was changed.
Yeah.
I thought I was the supervisor. I didn't know that the agenda items would be changed.
I could speak to that as a chair. I saw those come through, and here's like, when I tried to make the wording better and more professional, which is the chair's job. Like the one item you sent was discuss action, estimate to get rid of house pile at county farm. I changed that to discuss action, estimate bid to dispose of remains of demolished buildings, debris at the county farm. I mean, I tried to clean up the words.
That's fine.
Yeah, so that's what happened. And as I sat for several years on this board, the chairman had rights to work with the agenda and clean up the wording as their chair. Do you acknowledge that through history? That's how it always is.
And that is
And we
fine.
hired a administrative assistant to take care of the agenda. So we do need to talk about this, because I was made aware of this very
You
recently.
took off the name of the person filing the IPIP complaint, which I think is wrong.
Well, in names, a year ago, we had certain situations, the IPIP complaint, let's see.
I
We
believe
do
that
not name members of the public that do not matter to the situation as far
this
as.
does matter to the situation, and I believe the public has a right to know.
Well, I'm sure it'll come out. I'm sure there'll be interviews, but in the agenda item, it's fine if it comes out that way, but agenda item, it's about our response to the complaint and what is
That
stated
was
in the
filed by
complaint.
Drake Riddle,
Yes,
and I believe that needs to be out there.
okay.
And I believe it should have been put on there, but it was taken
Well, I'll
off
tell you
by
this.
our administrative assistant, who happens to
No,
be the grandmother.
Yeah, well, I am the chairman, and I told you a year ago, probably, when you were using names, you did this to Todd and I and other people. You put things in there like a little drama hatchet piece, and the agenda items are to be professional done, and I am the chair, and I was elected to be that.
I don't
And
believe
Cindy
it's
was
a
hired. Hold
hatchet
on,
piece.
Cindy was hired to do this. She spoke with me, I tried to clean up the wording, I added all the numbers and all the things to make it, we can go through different ones you did that were. I just added some things to it, nothing you asked for has not been put on there, every
This is
single
public
item.
information, Jacob.
Yes, definitely. I added more information. The names of people, and we can speak to that. I guess Cindy does have a lot of expertise on this. You work for the school doing.
The school is
agendas.
completely different from the county, and I'm tired of hearing about the school
Well,
in
I'm
here.
tired of your responses there. We are gonna have to listen to, we have people that can talk to us. Going after people's names individually in situations, an agenda item is not appropriate. And I'm the chair and I decided that.
The
So-
other thing is, the very last item, it is so convoluted. Request of supervisor to board clerk auditor's office in sharing a board of supervisors documents to board clerk auditor's office is custodian of. What the heck does that mean?
With the files and forms that are in anything that is from that office that we need to be brought out.
It doesn't say that.
Document says request of supervisor or clerk to the board clerk. Request we make the board clerk or auditor's office in sharing a board of supervisors documents, to the board clerk,
Doesn't say that.
the board clerk or auditor's office is custodian of. Yes, it does.
No, it
Request
doesn't.
of the supervisors to the board clerk / auditor's office in sharing a board of supervisors documents. They are the custodians for several documents for us. The board clerk and the / auditor is the custodian of. We're
It doesn't make
requesting for
sense.
forms. Well, that's what it says, and that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. So we'll work through it again. That is what it says. Yours said, Holmes request for copies of 24 resolutions.
And that's what I wanted to talk about.
But I wanted to talk about all documents. That's why it says that, and trying to make it to cover everything. So, and again, I was elected to be chair, and we put forth this thing,
So
and
you
I
can
don't know.
change- I'm a supervisor
Yes, you
and I
are.
can request anything to
You
be put on
can.
that
And
agenda.
every
And you
single-
don't have the right to take it off of there.
Every single thing, actually, I was told that by Melissa Wellhausen and the previous chairs. Yes, it was up to the chair. I will not refuse you. And that's why everything that you asked for is on here.
No,
The
it's
request
not.
for the resolutions is in number 12. The request about our meeting, what we're gonna do about next week's meeting is number, 11. The IPIB is 10, what you asked. The house estimate is the brush pile is number, that,
Just all
9,
rewritten.
and then tree removal bidding is number 8. Every single thing you asked is on there. Now, I would like to know how you superseded everyone and changed it on the
I just
website.
went in there and put a different one on there.
Why-
So how did you do that?
I just sent
What
it to
action gave you
solutions.
that power? Are you the chair? Were you elected
No,
to the
but I
agenda?
went ahead and did it because
So there
I
we
thought
go.
it needed to be on there.
So
Two
you're
weeks-
you're not supposed to do that.
No,
I may not be able to, I may not be supposed to, but I
I mean,
would.
okay,
Judy
so what if the shoe was on the other foot?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
could do it.
And Jacob went in and changed
He
something?
does it all the
No,
time.
he,
He does
If he
by
did
having
that-
Cindy do the things that he does.
we hired Cindy to write the.
Yeah, you
agenda.
two hired Cindy to
That's
do
the
it
board.
by changing everything.
There
that
was
you did.
nothing changed, just some of
Yes,
the words. to
changes
make
the
it more
wording on everything.
Professional and to leave out
No.
the names. That was
No.
it.
Leave out names. You're leaving out
That's-
public information.
It's gonna come out in our discussion.
Yes,
It
Why
wasn't
can't
like-
it be on here then?
next year.
Why
you're
can't
elected
it be
chair,
on
you
there?
will
Why
make
does it
that
need to be
decision.
on there?
Why does it not need to be on there?
If
Because
the,
it's.
if
Because
the,
it's what?
You don't need to hatchet somebody because.
You're not hatcheting anybody. Drake's very proud
don't
of what he
think we
did
put-
and Cindy's very proud of him doing it.
okay, let's call this back. If the board votes as a majority, and you don't like what they want, you do whatever you want. If
No, I
Iowa,
don't.
hang on, if Iowa Code 2 weeks ago, you disagree with it, you say it's outdated, you're gonna do whatever you want. We've had this
No,
come up twice.
That's
That's,
not
so
what
we
I'm
have
saying.
proper procedures. Cindy was hired by the board to do agendas, I'm the chairman, that's the way it is. Do we have consensus on that as a board?
Yes.
You
All
just
right,
go
that's
ahead and do
consensus, we will move on. So from now
All
on,
right.
we will send an email to Solutions tomorrow, all media sources
You just do that.
only. That's consensus, the board of supervisors, we have a
I
majority.
will not do that anymore.
We have to.
I
it
was
will be
just
emailed
hopping
out.
mad last night with everything changed.
So when you're mad, you can change things. We will have order with this. We took the steps to hire Cindy and have our agendas be done
So you
properly.
just change everything that anybody wants on there anymore.
We will email, the only person that they will be allowed to take an agenda from for this board is Cindy or myself in her absence.
I think the auditor's office has the right to change things too.
No, actually, by code, they even admitted they have no right over the agenda. So we will run the agenda. That's the consensus. We're moving on. So we're approving the agenda as sent out by the board administrative assistant. I was never even emailed this other agenda. I never even got it. I only
No,
have.
so
this
who
one,
did it
so-
go to?
Who did it go to?
Did you email it to the media, to the?
No, I did not. I just
You
did it
just-
to Solution.
Just to
That's all I did.
Solutions on the webpage.
Solution is the only one that got it.
Okay, well, this is the agenda we're approving, the one that was sent out, and the one that's on the bulletin board. It shouldn't
So
have to
not
be
all
the
your
fifth
media
vote.
got it.
Well, we will send an email tomorrow to clarify this. So we have a motion and a second on this agenda that was sent out and posted properly. I guess we'll vote. All those in favor? Aye, opposed?
No.
All right, 2-1, Judy voted no. Let's stand up and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. JD, do I get a public comment here? If anybody has a public comment?
Corey, we're getting a feedback.
I have a public comment, Cindy Van Fossen.
Where?
I don't know, how many of you take the time to watch or listen to past meetings on YouTube, but I want to point out an issue with the videos. Because I do watch them and I watch a lot of other counties and I have a city I listen to. I don't know. I guess I got used to being in meetings and I kind of like to do them. So this is an issue that I see with our videos, if somebody tries to go back to listen. When the clerk to the board makes statements during the meeting, the microphone does not pick them up. During several meetings, the clerk is allowed to make comments or ask questions, and those viewing on Zoom or watching the YouTube video later cannot hear those comments or questions. When a member of the public wishes to speak, we are required to come to the podium where there is a microphone. if the clerk is going to continue making comments or asking questions during meetings, I would suggest purchasing her a headset like the supervisors wear so that those comments and questions can be heard. If there are insufficient funds in the IT budget, please contact me and I'll help find donated funds to take care of the cost so we could have another headset so that the meetings, everybody's comments and questions can be heard when they're watching them later. Thank you.
Do we have an extra headset for you? Like one of these? We have a microphone over there, don't we? That can't be run the same as the headset through that sound system. Yeah, so just, we'll look at it, make sure the mic's there, get a headset in exchange for the microphone. Can you run that instead of the microphone? Okay, we can do that. So if we need to talk.
Yes, I can run the microphone instead of a headset.
No, I mean, can we use a headset instead of the microphone? That's what I meant. You know, like switch it out so you can wear it like we do. Okay, you can't use the same plug. We'll look into that, because that,
She could use the microphone, is what he
but
said.
we have to be on it because we forget and it's not heard, it's not recorded, so. That's a good point to look into. We're trying to hear what they have to say, so. Okay, anything else? Not JD, go. We have another one, go ahead.
Brad Richards here in Corinda. I have not been physically present at these meetings for a while for some specific medical reasons. But I've been watching. Hey, Todd. Thank you. You three were elected to represent us, not your own private self-interest. I'm talking to all three of you, because all three of you are unique individuals. I'm tired of listening to this on Zoom, on the streets, especially in this meeting. It's embarrassing. It's totally embarrassing to listen to what just happened. Please take a deep breath and think about what you guys are saying, how you're saying it, who you're saying it to. People are listening, as evidenced by the open meeting complaint that is on the agenda. So, civility needs to be number one. And if not, and if you can't do it, then resign, because you're not representing all of us, you're representing your own self-ego. So if you can't do the job that we hired you for, then resign. Otherwise, do your job. Thank you.
Bill? Not, I'll take JD up there, engineer up there.
Good evening. It's a humid day in Page County, and wet and muddy, and the weather has changed all our plans. I'm JD King, Page County engineer. Update went out Tuesday afternoon, and virtually, well, not very much went according to plan. We had the blades out a little bit, and then it rained. And we're mowing the gravel that it rained, and we're hauling rock. I expect we're still hauling rock. I had those spray patcher on Monday, but I saw it today. I had crews trimming trees. And the excavator crew was pushing dirt from under guardrails between the posts. We did some shoulder edge rut work on the Stanton Road a couple days ago. Moving our stuff down to J64, and gonna work on that next week because we didn't get to it this week. On J64. Got some oil in. We're still doing tires at the shop. We switched some 42 is back, 24 is up, and I'm not dyslexic. Cat technician worked on the motor grader number 4 last Friday. And the weed commissioner was on vacation, so there was no spraying going on, except he came back today. On the construction front, we had a pre-construction meeting with Manats on the J55 base stabilization with cement powder and double lift seal coat Tuesday afternoon. They are scheduled, well, Tuesday afternoon, they were scheduled to come in on the 19th, next Monday, moving in equipment and start work hauling rock to the east end of J55 there at the county line and work back this way. Primarily so the trucks aren't driving on the rock that they just placed. Now, whether those dates are still good, because Manats is working somewhere else. I don't know whether they got rained out this week or not. So I would take those dates with a bit of slack or a bit of grain of salt. The detour we got planned, the detour we have planned is J53. In other words, instead of going to Braddyville, we're going to send people north to Shamball, go east on J53, all the way over to Siam, because that's where J55 jumps out just south there in Siam and Taylor County. That'll be posted next week sometime. We're doing project paperwork on the 280th Street Bridge on J53. Doing some development work on J64. And the report got submitted. Waiting review by the DOT personnel. I'll be attending a couple of days of the day and a half of the conference next week in SAC. And not next week, but the following week, we'll probably do some concrete patching on J14. That's that pavement runs north and west of Essex. We waited to do that till the bridge on 59 was done because they were running that road pretty hard. Questions for me?
I had a call about there at Hollyville, at the intersection. There's supposed to be maybe some oil patching or something there, you know.
Right, it used to be some seal coat, and that's kind of weathered away.
Is there a plan in place for that?
We got more oil.
And then several signs being knocked down in the county, no one stuff by. What is if somebody hits multiple signs over and over again, I know it happens sometimes. What is our plan of action on
I
that?
visited with one guy we think moved over some signs, asked him to be more careful around our signs. We'll see whether that does any good.
A couple calls, anything else? Okay, we're good, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6 on the agenda, we have application for Sunrises Popcorn. Use the courthouse grounds on October 5th, for the band jamboree, November 29th for the Clarinda lighted Christmas parade. Here we are right here.
I move that we approve both of those applications.
Got a motion, no, second. Good to me, we'll vote on that. Is that good?
Mayor,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Okay, we got that done. Next up, I have an update on, I met with representative from the DNR yesterday, I think it was. To look at the trees in the driveway, all those trees out there. And, from where the new driveway is, on the north side, looks like there's 5 trees, maybe the big ones. Yeah, we looked at them, and as far as close as the driveway is, and most of them are pretty rotten. The one we had questioned maybe was add some life in it. Because the driveway's so close, she said it probably lasts a long time, but it might get tore up in making the driveway, so her opinion on the north side, those 5 or whatever, just to get rid of those when it'd be the best on the, and then, of course, the ash trees and that are dead. The ash trees that are dead on the north side also. On the south side of the driveway, if you guys remember, there's one that's just a dead stick, just the trunk sticking up. And then I think once you get past the first couple, she marked them. They get through, they have a lot of life, they hang out over the pasture, they make shade. They do have hollow spots in them, but she said there's no, as long as you're not gonna be parking a car under them, there's nothing really to where she thinks they could last a long time. So if we're gonna trim some trees, possibly those on the south side, the ones that have the most life to them could be trimmed a little bit. We can plant new trees, any of the holes that are left. And she recommended, we have a whole list of them to look at, the trees that are resistant to the Asian beetle, of course, we got them bad. And, that's good soil down there, sorts like soil type, but like a sycamore or certain kinds of maples and different things. We could plant more of a hardwood too. She also mentioned the not thorny locust. I don't like locust trees, but the not thorny one is a hardwood that grows pretty quick. Ornament, something like that. So we can look at that in time, put back trees. But as far as I think on the jail plan, I'll maybe remember, those 5 were set to go, right, on the north side? I think they were,
Yes.
right? Let's
Yes,
see
they
that.
are.
That's what I thought. So I guess by what she said to me yesterday, we just go forward with that. Just the north side, on the south side, the first couple I think are bad. Beyond that, I think trimming those other ones, they're not really, she said there's no harm to it. They hurt anything really there. They're not gonna fall anything. They're providing shade. And we could,
The only thing
we could
is,
trim the best
if-
ones of those.
If there was some that were, hollow and we knew that they probably aren't gonna,
He said almost every single maple that kind will be hollow at this age. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's any that won't anywhere. So she said if it was in her yard, as long as it wasn't in the way it could harm something, it might last a long time. But that's not gonna affect the jail either right now. The south side of the driveway, beyond the driveway up to, I don't think it's really gonna do much. We got to decide if we want to trim a few of them, but that would be, I think that we go forward with what's in the bid currently, just to remove the 5 on the north side, would be my thoughts.
I didn't bring the bid specifications with me. Jeff is online, so
Okay.
he could probably answer for sure, but the first 5 trees from the highway in on the north side were scheduled to be removed.
Yeah.
And then the ash trees on further west
Yeah,
on the north side.
And
were
they're
scheduled to be
dead.
removed. And those are already,
Good.
those are already in A&W or Crane Construction's contract to remove those as part of the site work contract that you guys have already issued to
Good.
him.
and
So Crane's doing those.
it's already built
Yes,
into it.
it's part of bid specification 31, which is the site prep and site work.
We were just really, with those trees being there so long, cross our T's, dot our I's to really check it out, and that's when they can look at them. They've been there a long time. Now, we need to plant something back, I think. We'd want to plant something back. I think
And
there is
that is also in the bid
in the bid to
specifications
plant some back.
to replace, I think there's
There's 2 trees going in on the north side of the driveway that are due to be put back.
Yeah, so that's the plan, that's what she recommends. The south side, we can look into what we want to do on the south side beyond the driveway. We're talking south and west of the driveway.
West.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that doesn't affect what we're doing, but as far as putting back a plan to plant some trees, back some additional trees on top of what's in the jail plan. She said that she could give us advice on that, and there's even grants and things we can get.
if we didn't
We put
plant the
trees back.
trees, like plant trees back that we took out for a while, right at the beginning, is there a way to, just because I've had conversations and does that help us with our budget if those aren't in the budget? The landscaping piece of the tree
Oh,
part,
yeah,
and then, I'll address.
do it
but-
all at once.
Yeah, well, even if we're under budget too, a lot of times, Lyle brought up a great point, a lot of people will donate trees
Trees,
because
yeah.
they want something in memory of
And that-
somebody or
yeah.
something, and we could do a lot of that before you know, instead of
Paying a bunch of money
paying
to
a
have
bunch
them
of money to
planted.
have trees put
I'd be
in.
fine with that. That lane could be restored with trees spaced out pretty easily.
Yeah, and you could do flowering trees or whatever, something.
Make it
that's-
uniform. You
yeah.
could even plant elms like there is if you wanted to make it the same, or plant another 50-foot tall tree or 70-foot tall tree. So,
But
Yeah, the only issue would be, of course, as you know, anything that you plant isn't gonna be nearly as tall, and it is gonna look lopsided.
time, it's gonna take time.
Correct.
And if you look at it, when I was out there yesterday, those first 5, and then there's like 1 or 2 bad on the east end also. If those all go, you kind of have what's left on the south side's kind of all together, and you could put the same height for the first so far on north and south, and then start peppering the north side up through there again. I don't know. The shade, I do know in that pasture, that shade is a nice thing to have. Cause you need shade.
One of the things that, when I talked to Lindsay today, as I do a couple times throughout the year for my private business, is that, yes, you said as an urban standpoint, the south side, as you go farther down to the west, are a little more hardy.
Yeah.
They still have holes in them, they're still missing limbs. She said, yes, I understand that if you're gonna put concrete all the way down, and I said, I don't think our plan is to go all
No.
the way down to the building site with concrete. But the thing that she also said was, you're gonna, when you start taking trees out in a row, and you get the prevailing winds that we have, especially with the silver maples as they are, as everybody knows, if they've had big silver maples in their yard, they tend to get hollow, and those limbs become very brittle, or the tree itself at the base becomes very brittle, and a good windstorm will rack it or snap it, and therefore you could have more damage on down. But yes, the first 5 I agree with. From there on down, look at your tree and see what you have.
When we walked at night, we can go walk it again if you want. All those ones down on the south side from that front, all look about the same.
Yes.
They're not very much different. So they're all together.
Once you get past the first.
Yeah, it all gets pretty uniform, and they need trim a little bit. And she said you don't
My
have,
suggestion was gonna be, if you're in there to do that, that would be the time to do them all, and then come back on the south side with something a little hardier. Anything you plant in there, other than a cottonwood, a poplar, a silver maple, some of your other conifers are gonna grow slow, are gonna grow fast. But everything else, the hardwoods are gonna grow slow, so you have to be careful. And if you do plant, she also said, be mindful if at some point you have electricity or water lines going down from the road down there, that those roots are gonna go in there. Anything that disturbs the soil could hurt the roots. She said she'd even seen some of these, that are having the boring going on with whether it's fiber optics or whatever, are damaging the roots of those trees. And where we're gonna put that road in, that could disturb enough of the ground that it would hurt those 5
Right.
if we decided to leave them. But I think,
Yeah.
as Tony has said, and as Jeff has said online there, it's in the bid. Now is the, and then come back later on, maybe move north of the road a little farther. than
get farther
those,
north, yeah.
so that the trees have adequate sunlight, and then.
Your whole north line can be new, so you can make your straight line farther north and make them straight
I think,
and get away from things, yeah.
since it's in the bid, I think that's the thing to do, is to either do that or take it out of the farm account, however you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
And you said Lindsay is conservation, not
Lindsay
DNR.
Barney is, the
Forestry.
DNR's forester for
That's
this
who I met
region,
with,
Forest reserve, forest.
state forester.
yeah, she
State
came out
forester.
She's
there.
a district rep for.
So one other quick thing, on the south side, we are due to put 1 tree in on those first ones that you guys are referencing. So if that tree does not want to be put in, we will have 1 extra. Or if we decide to take, let's say the trees going out from 71 up the drive to the LEC, we can work that out and do a credit back to the project or go towards replanting something different.
Could you get us the figure on how much each tree is gonna cost? What would
Yes, I
fit all?
sure can. Yep.
Because if it's a bunch, we can do a thing where we can probably maybe find a more feasible way to do that. I don't know how much it is in the bid. So if you could find just planting the trees, how much that roughly is.
I sure can.
Okay, so I think we go on with the 5 the way it is. Is that what we think?
And that is
I mean,
with Crane taking those
already in
out
there,
there.
getting
It's
rid of
already,
it.
okay.
And the
Yeah.
putting back, we'll look at the price. If it's too much, we might take that up to help our bid come down, and we'll look at another option.
Okay.
All right, that good? So
Yep.
that's what we'll do on that.
Okay,
And we'll go forward with looking at trimming or saving or getting rid of, the rest of it will be on a different bid together, all those other trees anyway, because it's not part of the jail.
great.
Okay, so that gets everybody to moving where they need to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So we
Thanks,
don't-
Jeff.
You're welcome. Have a great evening, folks.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thanks for being here. So we have a consensus on that. Those 5 trees in the south go on. They can take those out. Okay, let's see here. Now, that next item was kind of to go after this, so we're agreeing to those 5 trees on the south going away. We need to get bids for trimming or removing any trees on the, I mean the north side, I said that wrong. On the south side, we need to get bids for that. So we need to put together something to bid, tell them what they're bidding.
Does our county do any tree trimming? Like, would we be,
No.
would we be capable of doing that without hiring it out?
They're not tree experts.
Okay. I didn't know if they had the equipment to even do it or.
No.
And I've
if they
talked
could
to
lease them
several
out or-
people that trim trees and the forester said the same thing. You do not want to trim a tree. I learned this a few years ago. You don't want to trim it before frost. Because the bugs will go right in to that
Oh,
tree.
to
You want
the
to wait till
open
the bugs are
spot.
dead, then you trim. Or you'll kill your trees. So we want to, whatever our bid is, we don't want this done till frost, till after frost. So they won't hurt the trees and we spend the money to trim. So
So basically, we've got RC and Clark.
are the 2 I know of. We can
Those
put
are
it
the 2
out
that I
there and
know.
make sure they both know
Yeah.
it. And then anybody else who wants to bid, but make sure they're aware. We can't have them bid till we tell them what they're bidding.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess on the south side of the road, past the first couple, we need to put together some kind of a wording of a bid to trim those trees I don't know how they word that, somehow word that to trim them to what they need done. I don't know how to word that. And we do that, get that put together for frost. We have a month or 2 here to get that done, to have a bid put together to clean those trees up. And in the future, we'll need make a plan to plant trees back, so. So I guess the next step is figuring out wording for our bid
I think we
process.
have like $8,000 in the farm account.
Yeah. And we're gonna probably need with some other, if we have any other issues in the farm, we're probably gonna need to, put some more money in there out of our
Probably.
rent. I imagine we're gonna use it this year, so we haven't used it for several years, so
Right.
we'll invest some back here.
And that goes on along to the next item too, so.
Yes, it does. So, yes, the next item is a brush pile up there. The remnants of the house and
And I,
trees and all kinds of stuff.
I talked to Roger Williams, the fire chief, and they can no longer burn because of ICAP.
Yeah.
They can't do that. And he suggested, and I talked to Justin Dahlman, who does the farm, he suggested that perhaps he dig a hole
That's what. you need.
and, bury that and then start it on fire. And when I talked to Justin, he said that would be a really big hole. So he said, how about do
Burn.
a partial hole, put part of it in,
Burn it.
and then put the rest of it in and burn it. That he'd probably have to get rent an excavator or get somebody in there with an excavator. He was supposed to get have you talked to him at all? He was
Yes,
supposed to get
tomorrow.
a bid, an estimate.
Oh, undo the brush pile, get rid of the brush pile?
He was supposed to get an estimate, but I haven't heard anything, so,
Yeah, I haven't either on that. They just talked to him about mowing down the weeds for
yeah.
to get ready to do.
So I had asked him to have it by today, but he didn't evidently get it done.
Well, maybe we
so.
could put a simple bid out there, because when we bid it to tear down the house, several people put a bid in to tear it down. Now we need a bid to basically burn and bury the brush pile, which is
Yeah,
a
but we
separate,
just wanna get
get it going.
somebody who's really careful, because they're gonna have to watch it.
It'll need to be burnt before things die or when it
Yeah.
snows. I mean, they'll
Yeah.
know that, so.
Yeah.
In the next month, or probably, I have to wait till winter time, so.
We'll wait
Now-
and see if he gets it.
Now
in.
that we
An
have,
estimate.
JD's not here, but they burn brush all the time, the county guys do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an option to have them burned.
Well, and they have an
And they
excavator,
have an
don't they?
excavator,
Can't
so I
they
think
dig a
that'd make
hole
the most
for us
sense.
and?
Well, and I think the fire department will kind of watch over it if,
Well, a
They'll check it.
controlled burn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they'll check it, but
So maybe we need to ask JD first. So if the county can take care of it for minimal effort, let's ask him first.
yeah.
And it had to be probably this winter when it, or here really quick. So we'll talk to JD or post it for bid. on that, so. Get that going. Okay, so we need to talk to JD or get a bit of wording put together. Okay,
So you'll take care of those two items.
all right. Okay. Let's see here. Next on the agenda, we have the board response, to the IPIB complaint, case number 240068 regarding error of the July 11th, 2024 Page County Board of Supervisors minutes. We received that email from the IPIB with the complaint, the minutes did not meet code. I put together a response here somewhere.
I have to admit, I did not see that in the minutes, and evidently, Jacob, did you see it?
What's that? We passed them, it was,
I know, but neither one of you saw it, right? Okay, so
passed.
none of us saw it, so,
and so it needs
Yeah.
to be fixed. It was wrong. It is
Right.
wrong. So I made our response. Which.
Carl said a simple one word, very, very simple would be that we, it was an oversight, period.
Yeah, well, and that's, I put this together because I wanted to really be clear with it. Here, I'll hand it out to you. Like to do this, like this way. There you go. I kind of typed it up here. I had to do this last time. It's kind of the same thing I did last time when this happened a year ago when our minutes did not meet code. And our agendas was wrong. So here's what I put. The Page County Board of Supervisors has reviewed the complaint case
Sorry,
number.
do you have a copy of that for me?
I will in a minute here. I think we're making a motion. Would you like to look at it before we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Start again here.
Thank you.
It said the Page County Board of Supervisors has reviewed the complaint case number 24FC008. The board agrees with the complainant, and the evidence provided shows that the meeting minutes from July 11, 2024 do not meet Iowa code. We would like to expedite this process. The minutes for our board have caused conflict over both content and responsibility on a nearly weekly basis for over a year. We would like training for the board and the clerk and the IPIB's help in drafting official minutes policy. The guidance and opportunity to create policy and procedures to help avoid this conflict and ensure appropriate and legal minutes moving forward is greatly appreciated.
No,
And I will make that my motion, but that's our response.
no,
Yeah, I would second. That's,
I got a motion and a second. All right, that's our motion. We want to send back tomorrow. I'll send that to the IPIB tomorrow.
all we need to do is say that we made a mistake on this.
Well,
and-
that's what I
And that we're
say.
going, no, and that we're going to fix it.
Yes, that's.
That
what I
this was
like
an
to-
oversight and that we're going to fix it.
All right.
This was an
And
oversight
to point
and
out,
not,
to point out just a discussion, I've been told we can't even vote on our minutes. It doesn't matter. What we say doesn't matter. Everything we do fix doesn't change. So in that, we need help on the minutes. We've had
No,
over a
we
year and a
don't,
half long
Jacob.
budget. I'll call the question. I'd like to vote on this. Now, this is my motion. That's the exact wording. I want it done in the motion.
no.
We're gonna vote. Call the question.
Do you know that IPIB has been sued for their own violation of meeting law, open meetings law?
I know that we have a complaint and we're required to provide a response.
That has nothing to do with this.
what's wrong with the response?
We don't need training.
Yes, but.
I
yes,
don't know.
We do
I
not
would-
need training.
I would take some help at this point.
Yeah, I would be very happy to have training and a procedure put in place to make sure we clean this up and stop every week having a mess with this. I want it to be done right. So we've got a motion, it's the exact wording there. And we'll vote.
This is not the proper, I think you need to run the response by the county attorney.
I don't think
It's
so.
to the
'cause
board.
it's the board's decision.
I think you are totally, totally wrong and off base.
You can vote accordingly.
I will.
Are you ready to vote?
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Mayor,
Yes,
Holmes,
yes.
Clark.
No,
Okay, motion
Thank
carried.
you.
That will be our response. I will send this to the IPIB tomorrow. Okay. Next up, we're working on our calendar with next week's meeting. Do the ISAC conference is Wednesday and Thursday.
this does not even answer the complaint.
Says we reviewed the complaint, we agree with the complainant and the
No,
evidence
it doesn't
We've
answer
moved
the
on.
complaint.
Next agenda
next
item.
thing, please.
Yeah. Next agenda item. Our next week meeting will conference will be going on Thursday, so do we need to pick a different day, or do you want to move it to the next week? What's the thoughts on that?
I vote we move it to the next week.
Okay, so
I'll second that.
are we good with that? Okay, we got a motion to move. So the meeting on the, 22nd will not happen. We will be
Yeah, so
canceling
it'll
that.
be moved to the 29th.
The 29th will be our next regular meeting.
Yes.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on that. I guess we can vote on that since it's on here that way with the motion.
I don't think,
Doesn't, it's on there, we'll just do it, I guess.
Mayor,
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes.
Clark,
yes.
Okay, so we're canceling next week's meeting, and then following week we'll return to our normal schedule. Okay, now, the next agenda item there, let me find those papers. On Monday morning, and I didn't think this was that big a deal at all. Really didn't. I was trying to remember some things and go over some things, and I had simply asked the auditor's office for the copy of the resolution file, which has been sent to me many times over the years. Every time we pass a resolution, it gets scanned into a digital file, and it used to always come every time we'd see them all. I just wanted to review some things, as we have not been getting those, and I thought it was no big deal. And I posted that to all the supervisors to see it, so hopefully if they just responded back with a simple file, they could all see it in case they were wondering about it too, or needed it. Just didn't think it was a big deal at all. I did not receive that file. Judy, you interjected into the email chain. Go find them in the minutes. It's not their job to
Yes, I did.
provide the resolutions. I can read your exact email if you want. I can read it there. I need to do my job.
Melissa sent you an email,
So,
sent us an email this afternoon, but it didn't go till later.
okay,
It
Well-
says all the resolutions are found on the website in the Board of Supervisors minutes. If you cannot find them, please let me know and we can set up a meeting time in the office and I can show you how to locate them.
I don't want them in the minutes file, digging through minutes. I want
That's
them
where
in the
they
resolution.
are, Jacob. They're
There-
not in
there
the
is a-
separate file. They are not in the separate file. They are in the minutes file. They're no longer.
Where are the documents
They're
we
no
signed? Where are
longer.
the documents we signed? I have a signature on those things. Where are those at?
They're no longer
answer that
in a
question.
separate file.
You were the auditor, where, I guess, unless Kristen wants to speak to this, where are the resolutions that I signed?
They're probably in a notebook.
In a notebook. They're a physical sheet of paper like
They're
this.
probably in a notebook,
So they're in the
but
sheet
they're
of paper
not
stuck in
on,
a
they're
notebook.
not in a file in here, on the computer.
Okay, I want the physical piece of paper.
You want
Scanned.
the auditor's office to copy all of them and give them to you?
Scan them into the computer, which they will for solutions anyway, because we keep our resolutions.
They're
in
not
digital
put on
file.
there anymore. They're in the minutes.
Okay, I have a motion on this too. We're gonna have a motion, because this is inhibiting county business. This is crazy. We cannot get the simple resolutions for
Brad,
years,
What
for
do you need,
years.
Brad?
Every time,
I would like to.
no, we're in discussion right now, please. Every time that we have had, I mean, that's just happened so many, I think even this year.
Isn't,
I will get the
So-
resolution file every time we have a new one. They're all there digitally.
do we not, because I've looked at some of the resolutions online, like, because some of them are there.
Some of 'em are there.
Right? But don't we do that? Don't we scan those in every time?
Evidently not.
And we
anymore.
should, so they need to be
What
digital.
happens if, I mean, I don't know.
They're
if
in the
there's stuff
minutes.
Gets lost or.
They're also an actual document. Our resolutions are a signed, document. It's what we passed. They're not magically just mixed into the minutes. There's also a real document. So anyway, we're trying to conduct business here, and I did not think this would be a big deal. It's silly. It's part of the drama that comes along with this. It shouldn't be. So we need any document that the auditor's office is custodian of. By code, they are our documents, the board's documents. They're simply the custodian of them. They hold on to them for us. We do not have an office here. We meet in this room. We do not operate here every day. When we email and ask for a simple resolution, one-page document, to ask the clerk to the board to send us that document or the documents for the year that are the resolutions, has always happened and is not strange and is very, it's stopping the efficiency of the way we do our jobs. So we need those things, so I wanted this on here because there's other things that we need to have access to that should be in digital format. Should be. I don't, everything we do, we just spend a fortune, uploading all the records from the recorder's office and all these things to be digital. It is and it always has been. So something, we have games being played. I'm tired of the games. We want to do business, talk about being professional, do business. We can't even get the resolutions. I'm not asking you to speak right now because I'm not done. So what do you think on this, Todd?
Yes, so I would think that everything would be scanned electronically, put in a folder. There's no reason they have not been scanned. They have been in the past. I don't know why we stopped doing that.
I can't,
But that would be the expectation so that their public can view those resolutions. Without having to dig through minutes to try to find stuff that we've talked about. I think it'd be awful handy to be able to pull those up whenever needed. So I will second your
I want to make a motion.
if you
here.
make a motion, yep.
I'm gonna make one here. There you go, pass it over there if you want. We'll make a motion concerning our documents and get this over with. I did not think this would cause a problem. Many times in the past, simple
It
documents
should
like
be
this have been
simple, it should
provided.
be kind
And
of,
if you don't want to be clerk to the board, don't be clerk to the board. We've offered many times to replace the clerk if they do not want to provide simple documents to the board to operate. So I'm gonna make a motion considering this situation with us getting the documents that belong to the board sent to us if asked. My motion is, I'm making a motion. We'll have discussion in a minute. My motion is any supervisors, I make the motion that any supervisor's request for any board of supervisors document that the clerk to the board's auditor is the custodian of shall be provided by the following business day at the latest via email. This will promote the board of supervisors in conducting business as efficiently as possible and the board clerk fulfilling their role to the board. Additionally, if any supervisor provides a request that a board of supervisor document or documents be brought to a board of supervisors meeting, the requested documents shall be brought to said meeting by the clerk. That's my motion.
a second.
Got a motion and a second. We'll have discussion, any discussion between us.
Doesn't hold water.
I'm making a motion. You know, a couple weeks ago, we were digging up motions from 2017. We were told we had to adhere to. That's just simply to do business. This is the way it's always been.
This is, you're telling
And
another
use-
elected
hold
official
on.
what to do and you
Hold
can't
on.
do that, Jacob.
We have a clerk that's supposed to work with us in our documents. Now, this motion is made, it shouldn't have to be made. This exists everywhere in every board. The clerk or secretary of the board, I was a clerk for a township. It doesn't do much, but I always brought everything they asked me to bring. This is silly, we have to do this, but we're doing it. We're gonna put it in writing. So that's the motion. We have a second. I guess we can open up them in public if we say, so speak now.
You can't tell another elected official what to do.
Our documents that belong to us, we're asking to have them sent to us if asked.
Once again, Brad Richards. Just so you know, I did a little bit of research on this very topic with numerous counties. Potawatomi County lists every one of their resolutions in their minutes. Every single one of them.
They have to be, by code.
Yep,
That's,
No,
that's,
what I'm
that's,
saying, guys.
but I
is-
bet they're somewhere else
yeah,
instead of
they
in
are
the
in a
minutes.
file and
Okay.
accessible. They're not buried in the minutes.
The
yet.
minutes are
It's signed
accessible.
Yeah.
I-
they're
doc.
not-
The file should be produced, the
I-
actual physical copy should be produced. It's not only in the minutes. We also keep ordinances. We also keep many things that are done.
And I didn't bring them tonight, but I pulled them up, printed them out. It didn't take long at all to go back and look at what resolutions for this county, Potawatomi County, or any board of supervisors in the state. If you guys would,
If you're gonna belittle us, I'm gonna ask you to sit down. If you're gonna do that
I'm
again.
not,
Okay.
you're the one that's belittling everybody.
I'm belittling you? Go ahead. What do you have? Do you have a solution to the problem?
What I'm saying is, if you need
Suggestion.
something, all you have to do is get on computer, just like I did, pull it up, print it out, or send a copy of it to the other supervisors. If you want to see a physical copy, there's nothing stopping either of the three of you to contact the clerk and go down and get it and say, hey, I'm 15 miles out. I need a copy of this. I'll stop by the office. Can you have it ready for me? That's working in cooperation instead of telling and forcing somebody to do the will of two people.
You think
Why
it's,
don't you guys start working with?
we asked for a simple document to be emailed to us in digital form. It's always been done that way. I don't understand. If you've been on boards, have you been on a board before?
Yeah.
I think you have. Have you ever had documents? I'm on several boards right now and documents are sent to me every month to prepare for a meeting and we can't get the simplest documents into us. This is nonsense. I call the question right now. Call the question.
Are
If
We're
you
done.
could- if you
Are
go back,
done raising your voice at me?
I am done with your comment. I'm calling the question. This is ridiculous. This is happening and it needs to not
What's
happen anymore.
ridiculous is
Go on.
usually-
Call the question.
if you go back to 23,
Call the
the
question.
resolutions
the
are not
question.
there,
We're done.
Call the
Jacob.
question. I'm
We're
done
done.
with this. This is simple
If you go
document.
back to 23, the resolutions are not there.
Call the question.
It'll be more peaceful if you would, believe me.
Yeah, we will have order and there should be, this is simple. No other board operates this way, none.
Good. We
No.
called
Sit
the
down,
question.
Cindy. Sit down.
We called the question. Let's go ahead. And you don't yell out if somebody picked out. I said. we
I
called
can
the
if I
question.
want to.
I'm the chairman of this meeting.
I don't care.
I said, you don't care. That's the truth. It's only if you say it's right, it's right. If it's not, it's not. Call the question, please. We'll call the vote.
Mayor
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Clark,
Absolutely not.
Did you get past this motion wording? Kristen, did you get this? Okay, you,
sorry, I forgot to use the microphone. Yes, I did get that,
okay,
Jacob.
glad you got that in there. So you got that wording for the motion. It passed. Now,
Brad, I was going to apologize for my actions, but I'm not sure I'm going to.
okay, do we have any?
I do apologize for doing the agenda, but, I'm really tired of being overruled on putting things on the agenda.
I would say though, it's kind of funny though, you're not overruled on anything. You don't follow the majority rule. You do whatever you want
I don't
all the
think so.
time. And it's despicable.
It is inside.
I'm glad I'm
outside of code.
despicable. At least I'm,
A few weeks ago,
Following
you
the
said you
law.
do not have to. obey
You're
Iowa
not
code.
following the law.
yeah, I
That's
am.
Anything but.
So we have got to have some order and we're trying to get it and I look forward to the IPIB coming in and helping.
You
us
are
on the
making
minutes.
your own rules as you go along.
No.
Okay, anything we need to talk about for 2 weeks from now's meeting? And coming up, if not, we have a batch of claims here.
I move we approve the claims.
Second.
We got a motion and a second on the claims. Any discussion on the claims, any bills in there? I will speak again, as we talked a couple weeks ago, what I read, these claims should not be paid until we vote past them. So that's on the record, these should not be paid until we have voted to pass them. But we have a motion and a second, we vote on the claims?
Mayor
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes,
Clark,
Yes.
okay, motion carried. All right, I don't want to picture. So many of them. Let's see, where they at? The minutes, here's a couple copies sitting here. Todd, nothing. The only thing in these minutes was the wording at the end where it says passed out rewritten minutes. Said over and over, that does not belong in the minutes. The board has voted to leave that out. The wording was wrong last week. All we do is edit the words before the motion of passing the minutes. So, any motion on that?
Yeah, make a motion that we, move to approve the amended minutes to meet Iowa Public Information Board guidelines as presented to the clerk in this meeting, and these minutes to be published into Page County Board of Supervisors minute book.
I'll second that motion. And we'll vote when you're ready.
Mayor
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes,
Clark,
No.
okay, motion carried. Okay, now we need a motion to adjourn if we're all done.
Make a motion to adjourn.
And I do apologize to the audience.
Yes, we should follow the rules and code and procedure, and it's very difficult to make that happen here. Some people will not abide by it. Got a second? I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned.